Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. Got a big show lined up, a special guest here. But first, as always, we got to check on our weather. Brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard, and hard-working crew taking care of our everyday comfort needs. Pretty comfortable today. 82 high, low 72. No rain in the forecast for a couple of days. Things are getting to dry out a little bit. And we needed it. We needed rain, now we need to dry out. Our water temperature at the end of the pier, the all-important water temperature brought to us by Allco Electric out of Lynn Haven. It's bounced up another degree, 78 now. So it's gone from 80 to 76, now 78. So this is interesting. Our water temperature is always something exciting to me. I know some of y'all think I've spent too much time on it, but man, it really reflects what kind of fish is in the area. Our river reading is brought to us by the good folks at Panama City Coca-Cola. The Apalachicola Bluntstown has not been affected much by this rain. Right now it's at a 6.8, right below 7, and pretty steady. But the Choctaw Caribbean, we mentioned it yesterday, is up there. It's up there. We had this morning an even 10 foot, and it may level on out later on this afternoon and tomorrow. So it's high is going to be around 10 foot. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. High tide this morning at 10:34 and low at 10:01 tonight. Good strong tides. Wind coming in south-southwest at 5 to 10. Let's take a break and be back with our special guest.
This Memorial Day at the Sleep Center, you can save up to $500 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets. Tempur-Pedic, made in the USA, and available at
the Sleep Center, where it's bedtime all day long.
Northwest Florida is a great place to live.
The attorneys at Manuel & Thompson are part of this community and have been for over 35 years.
We live, work, and play here. We worship here, we pay taxes here, and raise our families here.
When someone in our community gets injured, they deserve to have their claim handled by someone who cares.
Someone who specializes in serious injury cases and has a solid reputation.
Manuel & Thompson, helping injured people. That's what we do.
Rough and Tough Dog Food from Harold Millen Company. In business over 75 years, they offer top quality and nutritionally balanced food for all your animals. Your chickens will love HMC feed, as well as your cattle and pigs. Time proven, rough and tough for your dogs. Want them healthy? Rough and tough. Want them happy? Rough and tough. Only the best from Harold Millen Company.
Big Memorial Day mattress sale going on now at the Sleep Center. Stop by the Sleep Center and you can save up to $800 on select Stearns & Foster adjustable mattress sets. Stearns & Foster, made in the USA, and available at
Sleep Center, where it's bedtime all day long.
Welcome back and welcome to a familiar guest here on Panhandle Outdoors, Officer Chris Bowley from the FWC. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Try to have him every month about the second Wednesday of the month. Of course, he does training and work-related details and all. Sometimes we have to adjust our schedule, but we try to have him on a regular basis. Always great to have him on. And he's got a ton of information. But he's got a picture we're going to show later. You're just going to look at it and be astounded at this picture. But let's get started, Chris. What you got?
All right, so I'm sure y'all have heard, I'm sure you probably talked about it on the show already, but I remember about this time last year I came on talking about the historic red snapper season that we were having in 2024. Well, this year is another historic red snapper season for 2025. So this year it's going to be 126 days of red snapper fishing, which I know all of y'all are excited about. I'm excited about it. And but the dates, just like last year, you know, keep up with the dates because there's some differences here and there. But it's going to kick off Memorial Day weekend. So in a couple weeks, Memorial Day weekend, you're going to be able to go out snapper fishing. Be careful out on the water. It's a big weekend on the water, especially just recreational boaters, but fishermen as well. So that's when it's going to kick off. Then starting June 1st through July 31st, it'll be open. So that's going to be 2 solid months of snapper fishing. It's not like last year where it was every weekend going throughout. That's going to be 2 solid months where you can snapper fish on the weekends or throughout the day as well. Then when we transition to fall, that's when it's going to be similar to last year where it's going to be the 3-day weekends. So that starts September 1st and that'll be every Friday, Saturday, Sunday through Christmas. But again, keep up with the dates because there are some extra days like Veterans Day, you'll be able to snapper fish. Thanksgiving, it'll be like the Thanksgiving holiday through the weekend, and on Christmas Day as well. So really exciting. You know, every year, or from last year to this year, we keep increasing, and I think that's not only exciting for the anglers out there, but it's also good, you know, for the population of red snapper. Like I always say, it's all based on scientific data, so the population is really healthy, which is really encouraging for the future as well.
Good deal, and there's going to be a lot of snapper caught.
Yep, and also coming up this month on the 21st in Ocala is going to be FWC's next commission meeting. So if y'all keep up with our commission meetings, they happen every quarter, and the next one's going to be in Ocala. I'm not sure if any of y'all are going to be driving down that way, but they are open to the public. So if you're in the Ocala area on the May 21st, that's our next commission meeting. I know something a lot of people have been asking about, with especially after the tragedy that happened down south. The proposed bear hunt is on the agenda for that meeting, so if you are interested in hearing about it, I don't believe they live stream the commission meeting, but you can go to myfwc.com afterwards, and they publish the agenda and the minutes and everything. So just wanted to let y'all know about that, just to keep y'all in the loop as far as when our next commission meeting is. And as well, if y'all have been seeing emails come out from either Go Outdoors Florida or MyFWC asking for your opinion, I promise those aren't spam emails.
Yeah.
I get them as well, but that's a great way to where if you can't go to our commission meetings and you want to voice your opinion on wildlife changes coming up, and you want to get them in front of our commissioners, please, if you have those emails, I know I've seen some recently about proposed changes to deer hunting here in the state as far as bag limits on doe. The bear hunting, there's been invites to virtual learning. So if you ever see any of those emails, please don't ignore them. If you do want to voice your opinion or have a proposed change that you'd like to go before our commissioners, that is how it gets done. I know a lot of times y'all will come to us officers and either voice complaints or tell us your ideas. Well, it can only go so far with us. So please, if you ever see any emails like that asking for your opinion, utilize them, because that is how we hear from the public and how it gets in front of the commissioners.
Good point. Yeah, you want to be heard. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And those commission meetings, they do have time allotted in them for the public to come up, and then also to all that data collected online is what those will get proposed to the commissioners as well. So if you see those emails, I promise you they're not spam, and they don't go to just some empty cubicle somewhere in Tallahassee. They do get pushed forward, and that data is collected.
Yeah. And they get 3 minutes, I believe. Is that what the FWC does?
I think something like that. I know for this meeting, they're allotting 30 minutes total. So I'm not sure if it's on a first come, first served basis as far as people that are actually there in person. But I know
30 minutes total for the whole group? Is that what it is? Wow.
For this meeting. And I know they adjust it based on how busy the agenda is, like what's all on the schedule, because they have to circle back to things that were in the last meeting, which the proposed bear hunt is one of those agenda items that was discussed at the last one for this one, because I know a lot of people have been asking about it. I probably get asked about it every day from the public, but it is being talked about. It is in front of our commissioners.
Yeah, so it'll be decided next week. Will they reach a decision then, or just get more feedback?
That I can't speculate on, but I know that they are continuing the discussion along, not only just to allow a proposed bear hunt, but also how it will be, if it's going to be, if it's going to be tags you purchase, if it's going to be a lottery system, all those kinds of things. So even if it's just, not just your opinion on a bear hunt, but how it will be conducted, please let us know. I know there's been some invites for virtual discussions, like a Teams meeting where you can hop in specific to the proposed bear hunt. So if you ever see those, check our social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or just myfwc.com, to see those virtual meeting invites, and then you can join them. It's open to the public, to everybody.
All right, sounds good. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Let's take back this yard!
Hold on, soldiers. There's an easier way to deal with mosquitoes and ticks. Wayne's Pest Control offers modern solutions that are safe and effective, so you don't have to battle them alone. It's best to just call Wayne's Pest Control.
Real-time Fisher's Seafood Restaurant and Market on Highway 22. Fresh, delicious seafood cooked daily. Shrimp boil, oyster bar, steam bar, and now featuring fresh barbecue smoked on-site chicken, pulled pork, and we'll cater large groups. Check out the seafood market with a great selection of some of the freshest seafood around. Friendly service, great food at a reasonable price. Real-time Fisher's Seafood Restaurant and Market.
Hello, my name is Daniel Cole, and I own Cole and Associates Marine Surveyors, where we specialize in doing in-depth surveys on marine vessels of all types, be it metal, fiberglass, power, or sail. I am a professional marine surveyor, both qualified by NAMS and SAMS, and an associate member of IAME. Remember, for all your marine survey needs, call Cole and Associates Marine Surveyors, 850-774-1899.
BJ's Marine Service. With over 44 years in business, they're dedicated to offer you the very best in marine service. BJ's Marine will repair any marine motor. Dependable and experienced. They won't be satisfied until you're satisfied. Local business that is family owned with a tradition of excellent service. Trust your motor to the best. BJ's Marine, 1317 Transmitter Road.
Let's take back this yard!
Hold on, soldiers. There's an easier way to deal with mosquitoes and ticks. Wayne's Pest Control offers modern solutions that are safe and effective, so you don't have to battle them alone. It's best to just call Wayne's Pest Control.
Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. Officer Chris Bowler here and all kind of cool stuff. And we're talking about coyotes, and we talked about a lot on the show. You sent me pictures of them in the backyard, and I was telling Chris, I like all kind of animals, but something about coyotes, I don't like them that much. So,
yeah, like lots of predators, they're cool from a distance. You know, when they start coming into our areas and affecting our yards and our pets and everything, that's when they become an issue. Yeah. Which is what I want to talk to y'all about today. So we've been receiving in our area lots of reports of coyote sightings, and not just up north, but even all the way down in Panama City Beach. So coyotes are reported in every single county in the state of Florida, and if you don't think they're around your area, more than likely they probably are. You know, urban coyotes are a thing. They do run around. So I wanted to take a couple moments, just because of the high number of reports we've been getting recently, to kind of talk about coyotes, some things, some tips and tricks with dealing with them. You know, recently, even all the way at Panama City Beach, we had an incident where a coyote snatched up someone's cat. So want to take a couple minutes to go over that. So the best thing you can do with coyotes is haze them away. They're very timid. They're curious, but they are very timid. So when it comes to hazing them away, similar to bears or any other animal, you want to wave your arms, get big, yell, make a lot of noise, and more than likely they will run away. You can make a homemade shaker, like throw some rocks or some old nasty pennies in a can or something and shake them. If you are going on long walks at night, I'd recommend carrying something like that, because a lot of times, even if you see them and you shake that and yell, they'll run away and they'll leave you alone. Some other things that have been recommended by us to the public is water, right? If you spray them with a water hose, something like that. They make motion sensing sprinklers, to where if something comes in, so if you know coyotes are coming in, if you have chickens or something, you can put them around the perimeter. Just don't forget about them if you're walking out there at night, so you don't get sprayed. I know I would probably forget about them. But what you want to do is, if you do have a lot of coyotes or any animal and you are using hazing methods, make sure that you start to change up the way you haze them if they do keep coming back, because you don't want them to get desensitized to the way that you are hazing them. You don't want them to adapt to that. Anything you can do, if you put up a fence for any sort of livestock or chickens or even like your pets and stuff, try to bury the fence as much as you can so they don't dig underneath. But if you ever see a coyote approaching, whether it's an animal or maybe one of your children or something, start to yell, start moving towards them. I know it might be scary, especially because no one wants to get bit by a coyote, but if you raise your hands up, get loud, and you start moving towards them, they're going to run away, because they're going to see it as a threat that's coming to them. So just make sure that they don't get desensitized to your methods, and they're out there. So make sure, if you're walking around at night and near a wooded area or areas that have had coyote sightings, carry something, whether it's something for your own personal protection, something to make noise, just because we want to limit the amount of human and conflict wildlife interactions, especially after the 2 tragedies we've had recently here in the state of Florida, which our hearts go out to everyone affected by that, and we want to avoid those types of incidents.
Yeah, and they won't really come and attack you. They're scared. But what bothers me, when there's 3 or 4 of them together and get in a pack, you can hear them at night. A lot of y'all up in the woods hear them at night, and they're howling and everything. They just don't sound good.
No, and but moving on. So now, I know I always joke about how I'm always going to talk about boating safety, but next week is National Safe Boating Week. So wanted to mention that. You're going to see lots of cool stuff coming out. I'll be going up to Alabama next week. Us, Alabama, and Georgia DNR are doing a joint press conference for it, so keep an eye out for that online.
Very
it'll be fun. But you'll probably see lots of stuff on our website, pushing out through our social media, promoting National Safe Boating Week. It's a really great time to, right before summer kicks off, make sure you go through your boat, make sure you have all the safety gear, make sure it's all up to date, because like I always say, we want to avoid any sort of incidents on the water. Unfortunately, our area, they do happen quite a bit. But National Safe Boating Week is a great time to, get out there on the water, look at all the stuff online. If you want an EPIRB, get one. If you need to update your boating registration, all that kind of stuff. So use National Safe Boating Week not only as a time to reflect on boating safety in general, but also a time to get your boat squared away, gearing up for the summer season. With that, I highly recommend, even if you are born before 1988 and you don't need a boater safety ID card, and if you've never taken any sort of formal training, like our boater safety class or something through NASBA, please take a course. There's lots of navigation rules on the water. Some of them I didn't even know about until I became an FWC officer, that really keep the water safe. They're designed just like rules of the road. So please, I can't remember what the statistic is, but last year, I think it was in the 80th percentile of boating fatalities that we had in the state of Florida. The operators had no sort of formal boater training. So please familiarize yourself. Even if you don't feel like taking a class, look up Coast Guard's nav rules. Utilize this time. National Boating Safety Week is a great time to, read up and remind yourself of all the rules and safety gear and everything out there, because we want to keep not just Bay County safe, the entire state of Florida safe, way out on the Gulf. Everywhere. Just because you're out in open waters and you think you can see a boat coming from miles away doesn't mean that boating accidents don't happen. So.
Yeah, and everyone should get that card by now. You should have it. Even us older, we know, we learn from experience, but these young people, a lot of them are taking like an outdoor education. They're taking it in class, but the ones that don't have opportunity, make sure your nieces or nephews or children or grandchildren, make sure they take that. And we've done that with our family. Just make sure that there's so much information there that people just don't realize that is on the water.
Mm-hmm. And the course is free, so it doesn't cost you anything. And two, it's kind of, you have to carry the card on you, but now if you have that card, you go to the DMV, you can get an endorsement on your actual driver's license, similar to like a motorcycle endorsement, for the boater safety ID card. So you don't have to worry about keeping the card on you. They can put it on your actual driver's license.
I didn't know that. That's a great idea. Everybody should have that. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and one of the things we're talking about later about, running boats in shallow water through the grass and all, and how that's so bad for the environment. And that's one of the things they cover. You don't want to run your boat through that shallow water and make those ruts in that grass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and especially with seagrass damage. Seagrass damage is actually, it's a federal offense. And a lot of times, we worry about how much tickets cost us, but if you do any sort of bottom damage, whether it's coral or seagrass, not only is it just a citation, but then they actually have to go out, they'll look at the cost of rehabilitating that area, and a lot of times you're on the hook for that. So it can be very expensive. Not only is it bad for the environment, it's really bad for your wallet as well. So
that's interesting. I didn't know they were doing that now, but that makes sense because some people just don't care. They just take off, and now they're having to pay for rehabbing.
Yep.
Good idea. Good idea. All right, let's take our final break. We'll be right back.
At Bay Smile Docs, we know how to make you smile. We're open early at 7 a.m. We're open late until 8. Request an appointment at baysmiledocs.com or call 271-2341 today.
Empire Real Estate of Florida, making your real estate dreams a reality throughout the Panhandle and more. If you're considering buying or selling real estate, please call 850-247-8868. Kramer Marine and Outdoor is your trusted source for all your outboard boat and motor needs. We carry Skeeter Bay boats, all-wheeled aluminum boats, and have the largest selection of outboard motors, parts, and accessories in the area. And our master-certified, factory-trained technicians are ready to take care of you. So shop us online at KramerMarineandOutdoor.com or visit us at the corner of Frankfort and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM. We're here to keep you out on the water.
Are you looking for some fine, fresh seafood? Then head over to Gene's Oyster Bar. This legendary icon has been around since 1930 and has served the finest and freshest seafood straight from the Bay and the Gulf. Folks come from all over the Panhandle and South Alabama to relish in this unique experience. So come on, pull up a stool and enjoy the finest oysters on the Gulf Coast. Gene's Oyster Bar on Sherman Avenue in historic Millville. Open 11 to 7, Tuesday through Saturday.
At Bay Smile Docks, we know your time is precious. That's why Bay Smile Docks opens early at 7 and we're open late until 8. Request an appointment at baysmiledocks.com or call 271-2341 today.
Okay, welcome back. Let's take a quick look at our fishing game time today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. We're looking at 12:49 to 2:49 this morning, this afternoon, 1:15 to 3:15. Chris is always good about Officer Chris Bowley. I got to give you a right name here, Officer Chris Bowley. Always good about sending pictures, always interesting. And the first picture here, tell us about this one right here, Chris.
So this first photo, that's Officer LaFrenz, and funnily enough, I think last time I was on here, I had a photo of her with an alligator, but someone called in an alligator in a residential neighborhood you can see behind there, so she went and grabbed it and moved it to a new home. So if you ever see any nuisance alligators, please let us know and we'll come pick them up and move them. But yep, that's Officer LaFrenz, one of our new officers in the area who is off training. So she's out there now on full patrol. So if you see her, say hello, introduce yourself, because you'll be seeing her a lot, especially this summer, getting out there out on the water.
This is in a neighborhood.
It is, yep. It was in a pond in a neighborhood. So a lot of times too, when alligators are in residential areas, they'll become desensitized to humans since they see them every day. So if you live anywhere that has a pond or a small river or something that runs through your neighborhood and you see alligators, if they start getting a little more, curious, you could say, coming into people's yards, coming closer to humans, please let us know and we will come and move them somewhere.
Y'all relocate them different lakes in different areas?
Yeah, we'll relocate them either somewhere that we know that they'll thrive in, or that's a wave that won't potentially cause some sort of human-wildlife conflict.
Right. Yeah, that's a win-win, because you want to get them out of the neighborhood and you want the gator to have some room to go play, like in a big lake. Okay, all right, let's see. I want to show this picture next. What is this one?
So there we have Lieutenant Bassford and Officer Bragg, and that was a short red grouper that they found someone in Grand Lagoon with. So, just cool photo, but also make sure that when you're measuring your fish, please ensure that not only do you know the regulations, but you close the mouth, all those kinds of things, because you don't want to get hammed up with a short fish, especially with this upcoming snapper season. This same day, actually, they went back out on the water and found someone with a snapper out of season. If they would have just waited, a month.
You got 100 how many days now to hit a snapper fish? That's crazy and all. And I laugh about just why people still do things like that. But anyway, this is my favorite picture I've seen in a while. All right, tell us this story right here.
So I thought this would be a pretty cool photo to show you. So that very large book at the very top, that is all of the laws and statutes and rules and regulations for wildlife in Florida. But if you look at that very first book, the one that has the brown cover, those were all of the game and fish rules and regulations for 1977. And then that one in the middle, I believe, is 1988. So you can see kind of the tier of our rules and regulations and how much they've grown. A lot of that has had to do with human behavior, right? We have to change regulations based on, the populations of people, and when that grows, you have to make adjustments, but also too, just the types of things that we regulate now, captive wildlife, all the federal stuff. But you can see how large that statute book is. So if you come up to an officer and ask us a question and we say, hold on, let us look it up, cut us some slack, because you can see how thick that book is and all the different rules and regulations. And that not even including Florida statutes of all just the regular laws that we have to know as well. But yeah, I mean, you can see throughout the years, not only has our agency grown, But our rules and regulations have grown as well based on all kinds of different factors. But I just thought that was a cool historic photo.
That's great. I know Captain Ken Paramore and Stan Kirkland, you guys had it made back then. You had that little book to do. look what they have to do. Yeah. But it is a lot of added stuff on there.
It is, yep. It's a lot, and almost every animal in the state of Florida has some sort of regulation on it, even if the regulation is that it's not regulated.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What's the growth as far as the officers in the state? I know our population has grown, but we've had a growth in officers too, but basically.
Yeah, and based on activity all over the state, different counties are assigned a certain number of officers based on the activity. I think in total across the entire state it's somewhere between 850 and 900 FWC officers, which does make us the largest wildlife law enforcement agency in the United States. So I think that's pretty cool. I mean, we are the fishing capital and boating capital of the world. So, we need the manpower that other states don't have. But yep, I think it's in total about between 850 and 900.
That's interesting. We have the most of anybody. I really never thought about that either. I've learned a lot this morning.
Yep.
So all right, we got a couple minutes left. You covered everything?
I got some other stuff. So this weekend, if any of y'all are going to be in the Destin area, it's the Lionfish Festival. It's Saturday and Sunday, so I'll be out there. I'll have a table set up, not only talking about FWC law enforcement, but we're going to have multiple FWC tables out there with some of our fisheries biologists, our lionfish department. So, not just me, but we'll actually have some of our fisheries biologists out there. So if you have any questions, stop by. Also, it is the 10-year anniversary of the FWC Lionfish Roundup.
Wow.
So every year, FWC sponsors a lionfish roundup where, it's a terrible, they're really pretty and cool looking fish, but they are terrible for the environment. Mm-hmm. And one of the things, if you register, and that starts May 24th. So May 24th through September 14th is our lionfish roundup. It's free to register online, and what you can do is every time you kill a lionfish, then you log it. If you get 25 lionfish, and that's a pretty big time, May to September. I've seen a lot of y'all out there with lionfish on your vessels. If you get 25 lionfish and register them, not only will you get a free t-shirt, but you'll also get a challenge coin that'll give you 2 extra lobsters on your bag limit if you want to go down south and catch lobsters.
That's
and
cool.
Then, there's all kinds of tiers. You can even win boats. They give out all kinds of prizes.
Yeah.
So make sure y'all participate in that.
That's cool.
Yep. And also, if y'all don't know, FWC on our website has a new media resources page. So if you go to the law enforcement tab, if any of y'all used to keep with the weekly reports we published, well, we got rid of those and we're transitioning to a media resources page. So what that'll have is you can actually break down to the Northwest region, which is what we all live in, and you'll see videos, photos, keeping up about cases, news alerts, major incidents like boating accidents, things like that. So it's basically kind of the same thing as the weekly reports, but now there'll be pictures, there'll be videos, there'll be all kinds of other stuff that we're doing. So if you want to keep up with what's going on in the state, you can go to our new media resources page. It's going to have, we'll have reports of major incidents and things that you can read. But it's a new page coming out. It's not going to get posted. It's not like on Instagram or Facebook. It's actually on the My FWC website. So if you're interested and want to see some cool photos and read about cases going on, go to the media resources page.
Great information. We've run out of time. A lot of great information. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Appreciate y'all watching the show. Do something good for someone else today. Have a great day. Enjoy the outdoors. Take care of it. And God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.